Hi guys, Jill here, and today we're going to go ahead and do the mice on this card. This is the penny black image, and we did the hedgehog last time, and he was really simple. I did it kind of slowly just to get the feel for things, and there goes the dogs. Sorry about that. Like I said, it's raining here, so the animals have to stay inside. So let's go ahead and zoom in and adjust them. Okay, that might be a little too close because of my hand, so yeah, let's get closer. We're using very limited supplies. I just have the tea dye ink pad. I don't use the marker on this because I don't like the marker color. It's one of the few. The vintage photo marker, a number 4 round watercolor brush, and a little bit of water. Mine's got a tint to it because of the brush. I didn't clean it. And this image is the penny black image, stamped with black VersaFine ink onto Strathmore 300 series watercolor paper. I like the Strathmore. The Canson works great also. The Canson's a 90 pound and the Strathmore is a 140. You don't really need the weight of the 140. Okay, so this I'm stamping off camera just onto my mat. I like to work off of a non-porous surface. You can use anything that's non-porous. I've used the lid of my markers. I operate out of this small tube. When I'm doing a project like this, I just put my markers in it. Okay, so I wet my brush out of the water, and then I pinch off most of the water. And so we're just going to use the tea dye to go in and put a layer of color on the mouse. And I just kind of dab it in. I like to add the double layer. And with this technique, what I found is the dabbing method really seems to work for me. I don't know why. It just does. Now, with this, I'm working on the back of the watercolor paper, and it does give me a little bit of a different result, and that's fine because they don't all have to be exactly the same. This image that I showed you in the beginning, and I've got a hair in there, but we'll get that out. This image I showed you in the beginning, it came out exactly like the sample that was on the stamp itself. And I really like that, but it doesn't always have to come out exactly like the sample. Sorry about my mouth there. I get dry mouth right down into my throat now, and it alters my voice. Okay, so now I'm just going to come in and dab a little bit of color. And again, I'm just using that tea dye, and actually no extra water at this point. And you can see where the color is a little bit different, but it's not a big deal. And see where, oh, I missed his arm. So let's go ahead and do the arm. Let's add a little water at this point. It's getting a little intense. There we go. Okay, so now let's go back and add. So see, this is where I just dab in those colors. And that's what I like about watercolor. I like that second layer where you dab in. And you get that second like layer of interest. And I'm sorry, I get quiet. When I taught, my whole classroom would get quiet, and it was always so fun when we were painting. Okay, so see it's drying in between layers. So now we're going to come in with the Vintage Photo marker, and I'm going to go in those areas that I actually want darker. And right in here, definitely. Here. And see. And then we're actually going to color the cake. And some of these areas you just color straight on and leave them. And then, like I said, because we're on this different side, we're going to get different effects. So we're going to come back in again until it has some contrast. And see, I am not loving right in here on his face. It doesn't fade out enough. So, taking a little water. And normally you don't want to go back into watercolor without committing to that whole area. But working on the back of the paper is a different feel. So see, it blended it out a little bit. And again, you wouldn't normally do that unless you were on the back like this. Okay, so then our last thing would be to come in with the pink, which is the Abandoned Coral. I chose Abandoned Coral because I had used it on the hat and the banner's full strength and the balloon. And that was actually wet down, and then once it dried I came back in full strength. And it was used here full strength, and as it on the frosting and the candles. And so actually it was not full strength on the body parts. And we'll just do this little guy. So again, the brush was cleaned off, wet down a little, and see how that pulls out into a nice light pink. And I'm not going to mess with the present. So there you have it. That's the mouse. Very simple. And by coming in with that Vintage Photo, it does add in some contrast. Now I wanted to show you one more thing about your markers. If your marker shows any of the black line, that means it's not closed. And so go ahead and make sure that there's no black line on your markers, or they will dry out. So there you have it. And please leave me comments on anything that you want to see. If you want to see the bear, please let me know. I haven't had any feedback from you guys. And I am going to move on to the Art Impressions stamps from the Scrapbook Expo now that I'm healthy and I have some time. So there you have it. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And thanks for stopping by, and have a great day.